Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to show you how to completely install Email Verifier Pro in your own VPS system. So this installation instruction will be made one of our customers VPS system. So this is our home page, and if you don't have this script yet, then you can buy from our official website or from Code Canyon. And if you don't have a VPS system yet, then you can check our suggested list, which will be definitely good for your VPS selection. Also the control panel where we have this script already. Okay, so today we are going to use a customer provided VPS, which is Delta host, and we are going to use a control panel which is HestiaCP. Our domain is hosted, our domain name server is hosted on Cloudflare. Okay, so once you have the script ready and also the VPS and domain everything, so you have to install the control panel on the VPS first. Okay, in that case we will be connected to the VPS through SSH access, and on our shell terminal will be install HestiaCP control panel using their documentation, official documentation. So let's install it. I hope you guys will be watching this video from start point to end, because it will definitely help you with configuring everything and troubleshooting any kind of issues, because I'm going to install this script and this control panel system on complete new VPS. So any kind of problem I'll be facing, that I'll troubleshoot that. So hopefully you guys will be watching this video from 0 to the end. As you can see, it's asking me to remove any kind of existing packages, and I'll say yes on this because I'll be using the packages from the HestiaCP itself. So let's type Y and enter. Okay, now it's asking me to continue the installation. I'll say yes, and it's asking me to provide an admin email address. So I'm just going to use my own email address for now. Just make sure it's a valid email address. Then it is asking me for a FQDN, which is a fully qualified domain name for host. The host on the VPS by itself is saying Ubuntu, but as I'm going to provide my own host name for accessing the interface, admin panel interface, so I'm going to quickly check if I have host ready. So as you can see, I don't have a host ready. So this is my domain where I'll use the script, so I won't use this as a host name. So in that case, I'll be add a host here where I'll name it as a VPS, and I'll point it to the VPS host server IP. Okay, and here you can see our host is created. So our domain will be like this. Let's copy this, go to the sh, now type VPS, sorry, VPS dot. Okay, so this will be our fully qualified domain name host. Okay, press enter. Okay, now HestiaCP is adding up its required repositories to complete this installation. As we have removed earlier the packages which we found conflict and duplicated, so the HestiaCP will control this now and will install them. you guys have to keep in mind that each control panel installation is different and they require different kind of packages. So the instruction might be quite different for your control panel installation, or if you are using a WHM or cPanel, then you don't have to install anything at all, because some VPS provider already comes with that by default. It's quite expensive, but um, it's easy to use. If you do have no prior experience with control panel setup, then you can use those services also. But we recommend HestiaCP right now as a free open source, because it's quite lightweight, and also it provide like PHP FPM for out of the box. So as our script is improving, and it's quite flexible to work with PHP FPM right now instead of PHP fast CGI, which we previously used. So I left it for a while and let HestiaCP finish its work. And meanwhile, I'm going to configure the DNS according to our script documentation. So as you know, we have a quite very big chapter of documentation made for users. Any kind of problem, issues, or any kind of thing related on the script side or VPS side, you can find the facts or common issues here. But also, if you don't find anything related to your problem or with your script, then you can obviously ask it on our support. So I'm going to installation process, and then I'm going to check our minimum requirements. If you come up here, and you'll see that what's our minimum requirements for email verifier pro script. And here I'm going to check the domain DNS. Okay, so instead here, as you can see, we recommended the srv.your domain. This is a fully qualified domain name for your logging panel, but here we have used the VPAS instead of srv address. You can use anything, that's your choice. So this is not a problem. And let me see, so we have to configure the email. Okay, email path MX server on the DNS. Okay, so I'm quickly write down some configurations here. DNS record. So let's see, first is the email, which will point your a record to the IP. Okay, then we are going to add MX server. I'll leave it to the 10 priority, and we'll assign this as the mail server. Actually, these are same IP, so it's not a problem, not an issue. So okay, so the reason I have kept this to MX server to this address, because you might be asking why I haven't used the mail address instead. Because some as I said, each panel individually installation is quite different. Also, their like RDNS setup is works differently on the mailbox. So here you can see on the HestiaCP, whenever you use the panel address like this, fully qualified domain address, so this HestiaCP tries to use this address to identify the RDNS, okay, the PTR record. So that is why I have set that up like that. Let's see, the domain key you can generate from third party, like you can search in Google and look for the DKM record generator. We have also given a link here, or you can just simply copy it from your panel side DNS manager. Once you add the domain, it automatically generates a DKM for you. So I always copy it from panel side instead of generating a new one, as maybe third party cause some problem with that. So I'll do that later. So once our panel setup is finished, so right now I'm going to install the dmarc. Okay, let's go to the text. This is a text type, txt dmarc. Okay, sorry, dmarc, and this is the content value. then we have to and your domain. Okay, this is an SPF record. Then go to the text value again and enter it and point it to your domain name. Okay, so now we have only DKIM record to be added. Okay, so let's check our HestiaCP, and the installation, as you can see, is complete and we are ready to go. So before you do that, make sure whichever panel you install, always copy the access information beforehand, so you don't lose it and make another install to find it out. Okay, so I have copied it and I'm going to add this on a notepad file. So I have added it on a notepad file. Now I'm going to visit the panel first. So I have no other informations needed on this page, so I'm going to close this out. And here it's asking, saying me that the SSL is not provided for this address, so I'm just going to replace the IP to or domain instead, which we have set, and then allow this. And I'm trying to connect it to the panel over the HTTPS protocol, which is requires an SSL, and SSL is not set up yet, so this warning will be come up. So I'm going to proceed this page. Once we add the SSL, that error will be go away. This is actually for your browser security warning. So here we are inside. So right now I'm going to see that the domain VPS here, so the panel which is assigned to the admin. So I'm going to quickly add the let's encrypt free SSL here, enable SSL for this domain, use let's encrypt obtained SSL. Okay, then click save. To use let's encrypt SSL, you make sure to have both www record and also the A record pointing to your same IP. So see, okay, it will take a few minutes, I mean few seconds. So here you can see the installation is done on the panel side. Now what we are going to do is we are going to change some server-side configuration. So as you can see, we have two PHP. Right now we are going to use this PHP instead and not the 8. So to do that, we are going to the configuration and let's see the web server, and okay, we are going to install the PHP FPM from the panel side. Okay, once the PHP 7.4 installation complete, you have to select it as your system PHP version and click save. And after that, you have to uncheck the PHP 8.0 and save again, because it will allow you to selecting the 7.4 and will uninstall the 8.0 from your system. Okay, because we don't need both two PHP for running this script, and having multiple version of PHP will just consume more resources. So just keep it simple and one. So once it's done, what we're going to do is go back. Here you can see PHP 7.4 FPM is showing up. So according to our script documentation, if you look inside, you'll find that there's some PHP configuration has to be done. So I'm just going to do them here instead of showing you what's the documentation written. So here you can see we just click the pencil icon here and it will open up the PHP configuration. We are just going to increase this value. Okay, so this is the memory limit. It consumes your VPS RAM resources. So before doing that, you have to check the resource limit on the RAM, how the amount of the RAM you have on your system. So to do that, we are going to use the htop to check that, or you can always use the free memory. Okay, so here you can see the memory limit, which is quite around like 6 GB, and we have used up like around 2 GB or something like, and there's like 3.2 GB left. So some of them are cached, so approximately for around 4 GB is available. So according to that, I can see I'm going to increase this as you can increase to like 1 GB or something like, because if needed, if you run a SAS application instead of the regular version, because right now we are installing the regular script on this, so we are going to limit this to this, because the VPS itself is kind of overrated from the customer. I mean, it's more powerful than the resources is needed. Okay, because we recommend like around 2 GB or 3 GB RAM for the regular license script, because you can only run one single process using the regular license, and there's multiple user session with multiple scripts running for the SAS version. So for SAS you need quite more powerful VPS like this. Okay, so display errors not needed. This is a post max size, it's not needed, but you can just increase it. Okay, then click save. Okay, done. So our PHP configuration is complete. Then I'm going to go back, and we have to configure the MySQL option here. HestiaCP applies some kind of custom MySQL configuration on their configuration file, MySQL configuration file, like it MySQL timeout, query timeout, and everything. So we have to turn that off, and also we'll have to increase the max allowed packet which is needed, because whenever you import a CSV file like a 100K or something like that, or maybe more, it kind of gets timeout when you try to import that into your database. Because of this limit, so you have to increase the packet injection limit, so you can import a lot of rows. Okay, so I'm going to do that from the like SFTP panel. Okay, let's see. So this is a file manager which is connected over the root access using the SFTP protocol. So this home path contains your website information, so we are going to the etc folder, then we'll search for MySQL, then from here is the my.cnf, which is MySQL configuration file. And let's go down. Here is the information which we're going to turn this off, and here you can see the max allowed packet. We are going to bump it up to 128. Okay, and click save. Okay, so the file is automatically updated. I'm using the Notepad++, so it's control synchronize the data. Once press saved, it will automatically upload it to the server again. Okay, so the MySQL file has been saved, update has been saved, but we have to apply that on the server. So we have to register the MySQL service, MySQL D service, MySQL D registered, and it will restart the MySQL D, and we'll start working with our new configurations from the file. After this, the clam AV is not needed. It consumes a lot of the resources from your system. As you can see, it's already doing like half of your 1.2 gigabyte of the RAM. So you can simply keep it stop, and if you reboot your server, then obviously it will restart again. To keep this permanently stop, you have to uninstall this from your system, like using the SSH or something. So right now I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it a stop. Okay. So there's definitely some kind of guides available online. You can just remove the package like clum av and from your Linux system. Okay, so next what we have to do is we're going to go to the user, and we'll be create a new user for our script path. Okay, so let's name it like we're going to use the main domain, or let's name it like avp admin or something like that. Okay, then this is a name for account, so I'm just going to keep it that. And regarding the email, I'm just going to use my email for now, but this is changeable from user account profile, and I'm going to generate a random password. So now do not allow user to log into control panel, send a welcome message, role account. Okay, let's keep other things as default. Click save. Okay, our user account is ready. So we are moved to the user account, and we have already switched back to the user account. You can switch back to the admin by clicking the logout from this user. So this is why I like to use the HestiaCP. It's quite flexible and easy to switch around and change the settings, and very lightweight. So now we are going to go to the database. Okay, we're going to create a database, and avp. Just make sure to copy this information on a separate file before you confirming it, because this will go away once you create the database. But you can always come back to this page and reset your password. So our database configuration is ready. So now I'm going to do is like create the domain, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to assign the domain on this user. So I'm just going to copy our main domain path here, and this is the IP, create DNS record, and also the mail for this domain. Then click save. Okay, the domain is creation successful, and I'm going to the web page again and apply SSL for this domain. You can see the SSL is not active, and obviously it will be our Let's Encrypt free SSL. Okay, and okay, so now it's done. And after that, I'm going to go back to the DNS. As I've created the domain, also the DNS has been generated. So I'm going to the DNS record, and from here you can see we have already used up many records on the Cloudflare already, but we haven't used the DKIM. So here's the DKIM record. We are going to copy it and go back to our Cloud Manager, Cloudflare DNS Manager, and here you're going to use the text record and paste the record here, and for the we are going to use this, and okay, and we're going to name it as like VPS instead of the mail. Let's see. Okay, so you don't have to adjust the records here because we are using the Cloudflare DNS Manager, so these are useless, this information here. Okay, now let's see what we have to do. We have to go back to the mail, and as you can see, the mailbox don't have an SSL yet. So before adding SSL on the mailbox, we are going to create some mail account on our mailbox. So for this, I recommend always create at least two or three mail account for your mailbox, like one for no reply if you plan to assign a no reply account for mail camping or something like that. Another is for admin or administration type mail accounts, which will send your system emails to users and to you. And also another for scan, which will use for scanning, running the scanner system. So right now I'm going to create two email account for this, which is the admin. One of them is admin, and generate a password. Make sure you copy these details on a separate file if you just in case if you don't lose it. So click save, and let's add another account, scan, keep it back up. Okay, so here you can see the information for your email server. You can use this information. So it's saying that there's a mail domain, IPM host, IMAP, and there's an web alias, which is your mailbox, and this is not accessible because we have to add that record also. Okay, so we have to go back to the DNS, and we are going to add that record, and we'll point that to our IP. Okay, and let's see, go back here and go back. Okay, now let's try to add an SSL. Click edit, enable SSL for this domain, use let's encrypt. Okay, click set. Let's give it some time. Okay, it's done. Now let's try to visit this, unless this address system is cached on our system, or maybe it will take some time. Okay, the DNS prop finished, and it's okay. So this means the DNS is not yet updated with our webmail address, so it will take some time. So we'll just leave that there because we don't need it right now. So our control panel side configuration is quite complete, and right now what we're going to do is we're going to upload our script file and finish the rest of the process. Okay, installation process on the database system, configure connection and stuff. So once you purchase the script, you have to you'll get a file. If you purchase it from our official website, you'll get the file from your account panel, or if you buy it from the Code Canyon, then you can download from Code Canyon. So let me get the file first. Okay, so I have the file, and I'm just going to relocate our FTP to our user path and public folder for applying the domain, applying it on the domain. So let's go find it. So this is our domain path, as you can see, and this is the public HTML. Okay, so you have to delete these default files. Okay, so after we delete the default files, we are going to upload our script files on this root path of this domain. So here we are uploading it right now. So as you can see, we are already logged into SFT using our root user access. So we will be using SSH, unzip this folder, zip file. So let's wait for it to finish, and we are going to this path. So one thing most of customers or users do during the installation or first time setup of this script is, once they upload this file, what they don't understand is that the panel or the whenever you are using the domain side is actually controlled by Apache web user. So the user you created on the panel is your path owner of this folder. So if you try to access some root privilege file system using the Apache web user or your panel side users, then it's don't get load on your client browser or something like that happens, and you see some kind of file not found or error. So this is basically happen for the permission issues, because you're trying to load a root level file as a regular user or Apache owner user. So you have to fix this. Okay, so you have to actually fix this first before you can go to the installation page. So we are going to fix that. And also you have to understand that whenever you upload a file as a root user based on your Linux system or panel, whenever you try to unzip or something like that, then the folder permissions may be different, like they may be not 755 or and won't be public accessible group. I mean, it won't be available for public group to view. So you have to allow access to that by changing the folder permission, and so let's try to unzip this and see what happens. So here I'm going to run command line for unzipping this, and as you can see, the file has been unpacked. So I'm going to remove all the unnecessary stuff for now, and here's the folder we have just unpacked it. So we are going to select all and bring all of it to our root path of this domain. Okay, so now our unpacked folder is empty, so we are going to delete this. Okay. So now, as you can see, all the file owner is root. So because we are connected over SFTP using the root, and if you do this over the FTP connection using your cPanel user, then it won't be a problem for you. So if you are using it as a root, then you have to make sure that they are corrected. So as you can see, the file permission are 644, so it's fine. Let's check the folders. So here you can see the folders of are capped into 555. So we have to change it to 755. Okay. So owner gets the right permission also. And right now we have to change the owner first. So let's change the owner. So to change the owner, we're going to change it to what is the owner name? Okay. Recursively all. Okay. Now as you can see, all of the owner is changed to the web panel user. So now we can publicly access it. And but one more thing we have to keep in mind, that still we have to change the folder permission. So files inside folder gets loaded properly on the web browser client. So we have to convert this to 755. We're going to run a quick command instead of manually doing one by one. So you're going to run a quick command which will change all the permissions to the folder. Okay, so so this is the command line we are going to send, and I'm going to give this into the description just in case if any recurs, or just type it from the screen. So it will find all the folder from the public_HTML, and we'll chmod it into 755. Okay, so it's done. So now let's reload it, check the permission again, and as you can see, it's the 755. So what happens is, basically whenever there's a permission problem, user try to go to the installation phases, and he comes up with error like file is inaccessible, file read access denied from the PHP. And sometimes what happens is like he's unable to write into the database configuration file, and because of this accessibility issue. So now we are going to our browser, and let's see. Okay, so let's reload this page. This is the webmail we have assigned. I believe it will be accessible right now, as you can see. Yep. So it took some time because of the DNS propagations as we added it newly. So let's visit the domain first for installing it. I mean installing the email verifier pro regular script. So here you can see this is the index page. You can actually disable it and use your own if you require, or completely disable it and don't use any kind of front page at all. So as you can see on our initial checkup, system checkup, it's saying that the port is outbound result is open. So Whenever it's green, that means you are good to go. I mean, your VPS server actually have the port unblocked, and you can actually use your system for scanning, and there won't be any kind of problem with scanning if you followed all other steps on the documentation properly. So here you can see we have to reload this page, so it find the PHP session cookies again. So now we given the next button for continue the installation, and we have to add our license code and email. I'm going to hide this page, so let's get back to and customer license. Okay, information. Okay, next. Okay, license is active. That's great. Now we are going to add our database information here. So we already created a database for this and user, which we have saved the information already. So we are going to bring this our user database name and password. Okay, as these are confidential, so I'll be blurring this out, so don't mind about this. Okay, next. So as you can see, it's saying the database connection successful, configuration successful. So warning, some users actually kind of misread this information. They think that this error is actually coming from the database, that yeah, your installation is failed or something like. We receive this kind of objection from some customers who has a very I mean, a lack of understanding what happening with installation. So if you see this kind of successful notice, then that's great, because your access credentials which you provide is correct, and you're ready to install the database of this script. But this warning is given from us. I mean, on the script itself, we have given it just to inform you that if you using any existing database information where you had any kind of different information or tables record. I mean, suppose you are using an old database of Email Verifier Pro to make it install. If you happen to do that, then what will happen is, if you press the next, then all the records, all the previous records and data tables will be deleted from that database before inserting the new content. So this is the simple step which most of users don't understand. So I'm again telling you that there's nothing to be worried about if you given a database information to install it. This is not an error from your database system. It is basically just a warning or alerting you to the informing you, like if you install it, then everything will be cleaned out if there's exist, and a new data structure will be freshly added. Okay, so just click next, and data tables are correctly tables created successfully, as I told you. So now we are going to add system email. So if you remember that I have already created two emails, so one I will add on the system email. This will be the email address for sending out any kind of admin side email. So, and this is the sorry this would be my personal email for now. So, and I'm going to just use a password and my name. Okay. So this is your personal email, and this is the system admin email. So this email will be using for sending out any kind of email from the system. Okay, so now let's complete. Okay, now see, that's how easy it is. The installation is complete, and it's saying that installation successful. So there's nothing to be panicked. There's no just all you have to understand that the documentation properly, and you require some technical skills, how a Linux package system works, what is the file folder permission and stuff, what is root user, what is web Apache panel web user, and how a control panel works. If you know this, then you can definitely install Email Verifier Pro very easily. Okay, and also the DNS management. So we already informed that to our customers and users before they purchase it on our script front page, because we don't want to create any kind of misinformation or guidelines to them, to anybody. As you can see, we have already explained like this, like that. One second, where is that? Here you can see installing email verifier pro requires a bit of technical experience in web internet systems to understand documentation. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to log in using our created user. Login. Okay, that's great. And as we have the script AutoAudit active, only admin can see this. Even though this is a regular license, there's no multi user based system, so no other user will see this message aside from admin. Okay, so here you can see there's already an update version available. We actually continuously work on this project, doing any kind of improvement as we getting suggested. If we see it's very important or any kind of crucial minor bugs or major bugs, any kind of everything, we try to implement it as soon as possible. Okay, so there's an update, and you just simply click it, and it will ask you that if you make an update, just make sure that you back up your existing database and files, just in case there's any kind of disaster happen. So for this for preventing any kind of disaster, so you make sure you back up your existing setup. So as we just freshly installed, and I believe that there should be no problem according to all the installation system, so everything is proper, so the update should be green to go. So I'm going to click yes and complete this update process, and it's instantly completed. Now it's saying no update available and our version is up to date. Okay, so now we are on the, as you can see, this is the dashboard, by the way. So here you can access your profile information, change password or everything. So I'm quickly going to the email general settings and finalize our setup. So let's see, email scanner. Okay, so here is the email scanner email which will be inputted. This is the email address which I have created before. So here's the email. SMTP port should be 25, don't try to change it. Scan timeout per email is 15. Total email to batch process, so you should reduce it or keep it 15. It is your wish, but I will recommend to keep it like 22 or 25. So what this will do is it will try to fetch 15 emails from your list of database. I mean, it will query 15 emails and will try to send 15 connection requests outside from your server to another 15 server at the same time. So if you plan, if your system is very new, like you have an IP address which is very new, just got received an host, and your domain is very new, then I will definitely tell you to try to reduce it when you try to, when you are using a very fresh startup, because you have to warm up your system. It's definitely very important, like for SMTP. So like keep it like 20 or 25. I believe that will be definitely enough for you, because based on our scanning system, we tried 10 batches only, and it took like 3k, I think 3000 email address to complete like 1 hour or something like that. So now click save, and this is your scan task runner. So this is very important. So once you update this, make sure that scan task runner is created. You have to generate a hash record. This hash record will be, your security pass. So you'll get a URL, this tasker. What it will do is that you'll add it into cron job. Here's the information written already. And once you add into cPanel cron job or control panel cron job system for 1 minute, it will run every 1 minute and will try to check if there's any kind of task is running or if not running. So it will do some programmatical calculation on it which you written, and it will try to call that tasker like you are running a scan, and somehow it got exited, okay, by your server system or Apache quieted the process, or if anything like that happened, then it will recall that task and will reactivate it for you within 1 minute. Okay, so we really improved that features, and it will keep your scan process active until it finishes. Okay, so we just created an URL, and this hash will save you from publicly if someone try to call your file for multiple times or something like that. If anything kind of happen, so this won't allow it to happen because they won't know this secret code. Okay, so you can simply just regenerate. If you think believe that this has been publicly leaked, then you just simply regenerate the code again and paste in your control panel. So we are going to copy it and go to our control panel, and here you can see the cron, then add a job, then go back and copy it, copy the command, generate every 1 minute. Okay, add it. Okay, so our cron task has been added for tasker. And there's another cron job which is for your mail camping, if you plan to use this email camping feature for sending your bulk email list. So in that case, I'm just going to go into the email camping, and as you can see, you have to assign your email camping SMTP host information, port, SMTP security and everything, and after that click save, and you have to make a test on that. So if you plan to use email camping features, then make sure that your connection system is made, your SMTP can do outgoing email send out, and once that's fine, you can just simply actually we have that into the document, I believe. 1 second. Send mail. So you have explained every features here individually. So send mail is changed into email camping. So we'll definitely update the documentation, because our script is getting more up to date instead of our documentation, because we are working more into our script than the documentation. So anyway, so this is our email camping, and here you can see this is the curls option. Okay, and yep, as I said, don't use fake from mail address, never. If you're using email camping, don't use fake one, because it will badly temper your host IP reputation. Okay, so we are going to create a cron job for this, just in case, and I will let the customer to assign his own SMTP configuration as he feels like. So I won't bother with that. So here I'm just going to replace this domain with main domain. Okay, 1 second, script domain. Okay, and this should be running for every 1 hour. Okay, so I'll set it every 1 hour, set. Okay, that's great. I'm going to go back, and as you can see, this is the cron job information has been added. And let's go back, and every 1 hour it will be sending 100 email if your connection setup is perfectly fine. Also, you can go into the general and enable system log, SMTP log. SMTP log will be able to track your outgoing email. If there's any kind of connection issue, you can obviously monitor from SMTP log. Okay, so now let's do it. Okay, go into the general settings. Also, there's one more features, like you see that features control. We actually have different kind of features called role and options for SaaS, and also for regular has quite different features. I mean, they don't have access as options we have for SaaS on the regular. So but SaaS have everything, all of it, okay, including some bonuses. So also you can disable the email camping if you feel that you don't use the email camping, so you can just click it off and it will disable your email camping features. So this is the blacklist monitor features. What it does is it actually cross-check any kind of blacklist issue of your IP and inform you on top of it if your IP is on the blacklisted server. So you can actually enable it. Reload the page, and if the IP is blacklisted, then you'll see it on the top of it. Let's see. We'll improve these features, the blacklist monitor, and we'll give it separately to users so they can run it individually without any kind of page reload every time. So as you can see, this IP actually listed on the blacklist of the SPB. Okay, let's just open it up and see into the complete list. don't be shocked that some people make a question, oh my god, I just bought a server, I have a very new IP, fresh IP, how can it be into the blacklist or something like that. Things can happen, like VPS provider can resell you the different IP which has been blacklisted by another person, and it was released and now it's selling to you. So something like this can happen, and you can see this kind of blacklist even on the fresh startup server. So you can just simply go to the server system, the DNS blacklist server who blacklisted your IP, and try to find out why he blacklisted you. Okay, so here you can see this is the RDNS found, and no generic RDNS will be registered to the name or email. Okay, so it's saying that no generic RDNS, register a valid RDNS for this IP. So it's saying that a host have an RDNS, and based on their calculation matrix or .spfpl.net, they don't accept generic RDNS because the Delta host is a generic RDNS. So you have to use your vps.yourdomain.com or whatever a record you have assigned for this, and this issue will be go away. Okay, so as I told you that don't be afraid any kind of blacklist you see right with your fresh startup VPS, because there's any kind of other things can happen for this. It's not that you just spammed a bunch of email without erroring you or something like that. So just ignore that fact and fix that up, and it will be fine. So to fix this, we have to in this case we have to fix the RDNS from the VPS site. As this is a Delta host, I'm not sure if they provide a DNS management system or we have to manually ask them. Let's see, I'm going to see if it's possible to add a RDNS record, or maybe we should create a ticket and we'll ask them that please forward our RDNS IP record to this web domain. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything right now, so I'll just keep it outside. I'll let the customers to configure this from his site. So let's deactivate the blacklist monitor for now. So our email scanner is set. Okay, now this is the domain filter options. This is actually for filtering any kind of like if you manually want to apply a filter for a domain which we don't have on our default database system. During the install, we have added a bunch of records for the system to work, but if there's any kind of record don't exist, then you can assign it manually here, like role account for any company email or disposable address or free account, any public domain. Okay, and if you can also sync our external list and improve your existing database with up-to-date version 1. Okay, this will take some time, but it will update with the latest record every time. And here's the MX server filter, which is for like if you were scanning or something, a bulk process is running and there's a mail server, external mail server, which is like is dead or something like that, like making no connection, and you're receiving a status response like SMTP rejected or SMTP connection fail. And in that case, it will try to add this up here, and in future scan on that same mail server, it will try to skip that instead of knocking again to that server. Okay, so it will help a bit like not making another connection, duplicate connection to the same failed server and cause any kind of IP reputation issue for you. Okay, so you can also manually add any kind of MX server record here. We will definitely update this more in future for user flexibility and we welcome any kind of suggestions on our script roadmap. So let's say this is the license details, this is the theme editor which I have to show you. First on the general, let's say this is the front-end theme settings. You can actually activate it. If you disable it, then it will go away from your home page and you won't see it. Okay, access denied. You can assign any kind of custom template or don't use it at all, or if you enable it, then you'll see a basic home page from email verifier pro, and you can edit it from settings page from theme editor. Okay, this is actually just a drag and drop editor. You can simply just click and use your keyboard to edit any kind of information that you like, and click save and update the page. Okay, you can also add any components that you like. Also, if you feel that any kind of components needs to be added, then you just click on the plus symbol. Any kind of elements and components can be added from here also. So this is just mainly very useful for user who want a home page or landing page for his site maybe, but it's very definitely be useful for like SaaS user. So if you're using a SaaS license, then you can create your white label branded homepage using this, or you can disable the theme editor and use your own theme into the root public root domain path. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly check that our script scan system. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard. You'll see a notification here. This is actually our whitegate script roadmap, changelog, everything is here. You will be notified right away, and here you can make some quick validation test. I'm just going to make a quick validation test and see what happens to the response of this. And we are implement these features. This is actually a dev log, so, or you can say debugger log. So I'm going to quickly check if the system is actually working or not. This is my actual email, so it's showing up valid. And this dev log will going to the network tab. You can see the information here. We'll implement these features into the activity log, which is under process of development, and user can see the activity log there of their every scan, what happened to their actual status of this email. So right now they don't see it in a site, except you have to come here on the network tab and see it here manually. So this is actually for developer purpose, but for user purpose we will be included it on the script log system. So here you can see its information that everything is correct, received 2. Okay, everything is fine. So one more thing we have to do is like that, which I haven't done, which is, as you know, I have created 2 email on my webmail account, and I have to make sure that my email DNS system is properly configured. So I'm going to send an email to mailtester.com. Let me check. I wonder if the access are correct. Okay, so I'm just going to use this address instead, and let's visit the mailtester.com. I think you can do some like 4 to 5 tests per day on mailtester. So let's copy their address, paste it, check my score. Now it will be waiting for my email to come up, so I'm going to write a quick mail. Hello, or this is a test mail sending from my host VPS. Hello, this is a test mail sending to check DNS and mail server system. Okay, thanks. This is just any kind of gibberish. Okay, so let's send it and wait for it to arrive. it will inform me the rating of each, and it's saying your email may never see the light of inbox. Oh, great. And let's see what's the problem went. So some people actually don't test the mail testers. This is why I'm actually showing you how to resolve this problem and fix it. Okay, so here you can see I have definitely made an issue here. Host IP, I actually didn't replace this IP on the record when I copied it from the documentation, so that kind of mistake also can be happen from the user side whenever they try to install it. So make sure you fix it. Okay, here is the host IP, and let's see, I'm just going to close these extra tabs. Now we guess one fixed plus 3 point, and it's saying your DKIM signature is not valid. Okay, let's see why. Please ensure that you inserted your DKIM txt DNS record on your domain using the mail selector. Okay, so we have to, okay, I remember of replacing that, so we are going to fix it. 1 second. Okay, now plus 3 most likely, and we didn't find a server a record behind your host name. Okay, so here is the problem. This is actually an RDNS issue. Okay, so in that case you may want to publish a DNS record. Okay, so one thing we can do is like that. First we are going to fix the host name on our Linux system, okay, which we didn't do. So we are going to the SFTP file manager, then we are going to the etc folder, and let's check what's the host name we have here. Host name is correct. 1 second. Host, it should be host. Okay, let me bring it out. Okay, so here you can see this is the host, and we'll have to correct it. We definitely won't be using the event 2, and we have to assign IP for it. 1 second. We'll be adding our IP just in case. And then we'll make a reboot of the server, and we'll also send an email to host to fix our RDNS issue, because I didn't see any kind of configuration on the Delta host panel to configure the RDNS. Maybe it's exists but it's not front of my eye or something like that, so I'll just leave that up to them. Maybe I'll send them a ticket. Let's see. Add a ticket. Please fix my RDNS of VPS, of active VPS. So I'm going to, hello, please point my VPS IP to I'm not sure if they if they allow this modification, but they should. I never experienced this host before, so it's up to them. But if you unable to resolve your RDNS issue, then I'll recommend you not to use that VPS at all, because it's 100% required for you to resolve all this error issue from your host. Okay, spam assassin things I can improve. Okay, let's reload this and see if any kind of new DNS record gets found. Nope, I have to resend the email again. even though my RDNS is not properly set up. Let's try again and see. Now you can see the good stuff. Okay. But still you have to keep that in mind, that yellow mark, your reverse DNS does not match with your sending domain, so you'll definitely have to update this. Also, the mail tester explains you which sending domains you are using and what your server is providing. So we have to replace this domain to here. So once this gets done, this will be green and you'll get more rating. Okay, like this one will be gone and you may be close to the 10. So that is how you're going to configure the mail system, and that is how you're going to configure the whole email verifier pro script. So that's it. If you guys have any kind of issue or question or problem regarding this script or installation, feel free to let me know on the comment box below. And we have a documentation which you can read. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and it will help you a lot for installing your script. And if there's any kind of question, then feel free to ask me on the comment box. Thank you guys for purchasing Email Verifier Pro script and all of your support. Take care.